My room is a mess right now. My bad. Um, I'm gonna clean it right after I do this. But like, I saw there was like, I don't know how, but a lot of people saw that one video. It actually did very well somehow. And I wanted to do another one of these since like that one did so well. Maybe those people are gonna come back and see this thing, or maybe I'm in their recommendeds now and they're gonna keep seeing me. So I'm gonna talk about some topics that I've talked about gradually over the course of many videos in the past, but none of them did very well. In fact, if I remember correctly, I don't think I ever got comments on those. They'd be like at most 10 views or something. I don't really remember. So like I wanted to do this, just talking about like all of it, just so I can get some like ears. So the thing I want to talk about first, I feel like the more bad things I should start off, since people don't last that long in these videos. Like by now, a bunch of people have clicked off, I'm sure, because I see they only last for like a minute or two and then they're gone, and a minute's already passed. So I could talk about the drugs. I did talk about that very briefly. Like I insinuated it in that other video, so I'm gonna talk about that. I talked about how I don't like shrinks and I don't want to see a therapist. What happened is like, so all of my friends, all of my friends have like known me for like, when they know me for like only a year or two, they'll already just like figure out, yo, I think you got like ADHD or something. Like they all think that. And I think it too. I genuinely thought that. So I wanted to get a diagnosis to make sure, because I'm not just gonna say I have ADHD without a diagnosis. God no. So I wanted to figure that out, and I would ask my mother about it for so long. I'd been asking since like the 7th grade. So that'd be like, by now 3 years. I've been asking for 3 years, because I'm going into sophomore year now, and and so I wanted to get that, and there's a, like my mother would say no so much, so I figured, I know how to convince her. I have tics. I genuinely have tics. I didn't know if she noticed them. Apparently she'd been like trying to hide that from me for years. Apparently she'd known about it since I was a child. I was a young child. She knew I had them for that long, but she stopped trying to talk about them and trying to hide them from me so that I wouldn't know, because she thought I healed from them. She thinks that things like mental illness and all those sorts of neurological things heal over time. So she thought that like I healed from the tics and I didn't have them anymore, and she just tried to shelter me from them. It's not how it works. I still get annoyed by them very frequently. I swear, like I will literally think of them. I'll do a quick one. Sometimes, like, it's when like I have a lot of thought on something. Like if I think about them, about my actual tics, they might show up again. And if I think too hard on something, if I'm concentrating on something, I think they show up sometimes. I don't know if there's actually a pattern. Stuff just happens. That's what I've seen for a lot of other people. And so I decided, you know what? I don't know what caused these tics. I don't know how tics work. I tried to figure stuff out. So I just convinced my mother, like, hey, get me a diagnosis. Because what if it's ADHD-induced tics? We don't know what caused these tics. I just always had them. We never looked into them. So so she agreed to get me a diagnosis. But the thing is, like, my friend who got a diagnosis a while ago, he got like a positive on ADHD. He didn't get positive on autism, but he says that he still thinks he could have had it because of the fact that he didn't actually answer the questions for the autism specifically when he was like really young. His mother did it, and he would answer a question, his mother would just be like, "No, that doesn't sound like you. I'm gonna put a different answer on." And so he thinks that that kind of skewed the results. Probably did. Where was I going with that? So the thing is, because of that, it's like he, so pretty much, um, so what it is that he went to like one place to get his diagnosis, and he stayed with those people, had the same shrinks, and they offered him therapists that he did have for a long time, for like other reasons, you know, but also a bit with that. So like, I'm not gonna go into that, but yeah, he got one place, and that's what I imagined is supposed to happen. You try to get a diagnosis, you get a shrink, you talk to your shrink, you until like you get a diagnosis. The whole time you're with that place. Not for me. I was I, I went to this pediatrician. That's where we had to go first, and it was this guy and his assistant. I call them. I always refer to them as my first two shrinks. That's how I like to think of them, just so that I can count up how many I've technically had. And it really shocks people when I bring this number up. Like in my bag, I have my bag around with me whenever I have to go places. So I was at this camp, and one of my friends, Asa, he was looking through my bag. He was like, "Hey, don't touch that stuff." And then, for some, he is still looking, and then he sees these two cards I have. Oh, this isn't. Oh. Wait, what is this? Never mind. That is the one I was thinking of. He finds these two business cards. One for a neurology, neuropsychiatric center, and one for a mental health service place. It's like, what are these about? Oh, it's like just weird psychiatric stuff, you know. And I don't know what prompted me to say, yeah. Oh yeah, I've had like 5 shrinks, I think. Why? Why do you think? Like that's just my only response. Um, yeah. So my first 2 shrinks, and they heard our pleas about how like I have tics. Find a way to stop that, and also want an ADHD diagnosis. So they then sent us to this other place, and then I talked to this one person about some stuff, and then it was just like a lot of like, the questions didn't really mean much, and then had to talk to another person behind a screen, and they asked the same questions. It was so dull. And let me just say, the entire time while all of this is happening, my mother's in the room. I lied on some of those questions. I skewed the truth, actually, is what I mean, on some of those questions. Like, a random question like, have you ever had a panic attack? What does that have to do with anything? But I had to like just say once, and and then I really mellowed down what it was actually like compared to what actually happened with like the panic attack. I had a panic attack in front of like my whole like theater class. A lot of they didn't really realize it was happening. I was having a panic attack because I had a really stressful week, or not even a week, more than that. A lot of stuff was piling up, and I really didn't like it. So I had a panic attack there, like in front of everyone during like script reading. And then it was like a week or so after that, I had a panic attack in the morning, directly before I was about to go to school, because like I'd been panicking about it the whole time and like having to just deal with this stuff. And it was like right in front of my mother. My mother never realized. I could not have talked about that one to my mother. And it's weird. I talked about the first panic attack. I could see the expression on her face. She was upset at me for some reason. It was weird. See, I don't like how they said I'm not allowed to be in a room by myself until I'm 16. That's stupid. You know how much you're skewing this stuff? Imagine I was genuinely depressed. I was depressed for a bit. Imagine that. But you don't get to hear a single thing about it because I'm with my mother, and I don't want my mother to hear that kind of stuff. You know how horrible that is? So yeah, first shrink shows up and then talk to one behind the screen, and then another one shows up for a noticeably shorter amount of time from the other ones, asks a bunch of questions, and at the end says, I mean, if you're still willing to, I can get you a neurological screening, but in my opinion, you don't seem like you have ADHD. I've said like 5 words the entire time I was with this person. I said like very short answers and stayed quiet the whole time for each dull question she said. She did not see the full scope of me. She knew nothing about me. You can't say that. But yeah, then they want me. Now I've been put on a wait list for a wait list to go over to another city to get a neurological screening. And I don't know when. This was in like April. We still haven't heard anything about that. I don't know when this stuff is happening. Like 4 months ago. Is that right? Let me look. I wrote a bunch of stuff on my calendar when things were happening. It might have honestly been the one before that. No, I'm pretty sure it was April. Okay. So, that happened. And after that, they did give me a prescription to... wow. A prescription for my tics to, like, deal with it. You know what? My shrink told me that I was supposed to take them at night. At the very least, before I go to bed. But generally, just, I could take them at night. Like, at the end of the day, nothing's going on. And if I felt the need to, I could take them a second time within the day. I could take them more times throughout the day. It's horrible advice. I told that to my friends, and they said, that's not safe. You should not listen. She should not have said that. This person was horrible, honestly. This specific one in particular. I still have the bottle on my desk. I don't know what to do with it. Because, you know what's crazy about it? I took it for like a week or so. I was supposed to keep taking it for like 30 days. And then... No, what was supposed to happen was I would take half a pill for 30 days straight. And after that, I moved on to a full pill. So, like, all of the pills in there, I split in half. After that, I was supposed to take 2 halves after the first 30 days. So, I would take, like, half a pill every night for, like, a week. Except towards the end of the week, I decided, like... Because I didn't really feel any sort of difference when... I didn't feel any difference when taking them. It was like they didn't really help with the tics. But also... I was told about a bunch of side effects, and I didn't feel any of them that much. I did talk about them with my friends just to be safe, but I did not notice any of them. It said there would be a lot of drowsiness, dehydration. I'd be a lot more tired. Like, the drowsiness, that might have been caused from the tiredness, but the tiredness was also going to kind of cause irritability. That one especially I told to my friends, like, if I act like incredibly upset and start yelling at you guys, please tell me to shut the fuck up. This stuff is, apparently this stuff makes me more irritable. That's not me if I'm acting like that. It's like, oh, thank God you told me that. I would have cried if that happened. So, but yeah, I never noticed any of that. I mean, weird. So like I took one pill because like I was curious about this stuff, so I took a pill like an hour or so before I was actually planning on fully going to sleep. I was like, I think if there was being a difference between going to sleep and going to bed. Going to sleep is when you're in bed and you're planning on sleeping. Going to bed is when you go to bed. You get on the bed, you might get in the position to like rest, but you weren't fully planning on sleeping. You might just sit there and relax and think. But I feel like that could also go to like when you're preparing for the night. You know, you get the stuff off your bed, you get everything in order before fixing up your bed to go on there. That entire thing is kind of like going to bed. So it was within that I took a pill and I stayed up for a while, and I swear I was on like I felt like I was on laughing gas when I had it. It was weird. And I was talking to myself constantly and seeing things, and like I tried to see like, oh, can I make out every single detail on that paper over there from this far away on at like the very corner of my bed as far as possible, because I'm nearsighted. I was like, can I do this on the pill? No, I couldn't read a single thing. Obviously, I was never able to. Even now, I can't read anything on that paper except newspaper at the very top, and that's like this big on the paper. Can you guys see that? I don't think you can. Oh. I got horrible eyesight. I don't wear my glasses enough. My friends tell me off for that a lot. Like, you should really wear your glasses, you know? Nah. I've been confirmed needing them for, like, since 6th grade. Who cares? Yeah, crazy stuff was happening, and then, like, I woke up the next morning remembering all that happened, but I did not remember the night fully. I just remembered, like, parts of it, and I knew stuff was going on when I did that, and I also remembered I was texting the group chat a lot. I don't remember everything that I said in the group, but, like, I scrolled through that morning, I was like, oh god, why was I saying these? Apparently the first thing I told them was, guys, if I start saying bonkers unironically, slap me. Never said bonkers ever again after that. Don't know why I thought that was gonna be a thing. It's weird random things that just mean nothing really going on. But yeah, that stuff was weird. A few days after that, I was starting to notice it was way more easy for me to be like upset and like angered. So, you know, the irritability was starting to show up. But for the most part, I don't think I noticed the other side effects. But yeah, I genuinely almost yelled at one of my friends and like cussed them out in the middle of the hallway in front of all of our friends. That genuinely almost happened. I literally told my friends, like, I almost cussed out Hadley in the hallway. You did not even notice what was going on right there. It's like, so, it's not very good, but again, this was like a little bit after having a very stressful time, and for like multiple weeks on end, I would feel like I was in like one of my lowest points, and then I would try to just shove it down because I wanted to talk about it, because I finally found people for the first time that I felt I was able to talk about this to, because I never felt like I was able to talk about things with my friends for a while. Through like the entirety of middle school, I did not know who to talk to, and by 8th grade, I finally opened up about some of my problems, and I got laughed at by them. So that really hurt. So these people, I finally felt like I could talk about things with. So I always wanted to, but I could never find the right moment. So constantly, I would try to just like push things down until I found like good times to talk about things and ways to do that. So it would be like multiple times I would have a week where I'm at like my lowest, and then right after that, it's all gone because I forgot about it. And then I realized, was it ever a problem, or was I faking it because of the fact I just forgot it? Like, it's not even that big a deal. And I would think, I want to have another low state of mind week. Let me have another one of those. Just a weird thing where like I want to feel pain. Weird stuff. I swear I call myself masochist because I'm literally drawn to feeling pain, like physically and emotionally, but mostly emotionally. I keep feeling drawn to that for some reason. I don't know why. So yeah, that kept happening like multiple times in a row, and that happened like a while before this whole pill stuff was happening. And then once again, I feel stressed, and it's like a little bit because of all the stuff that was happening before, but I could not articulate all the stuff that happened. Because again, they weren't on my mind, so I couldn't fully figure it out. And overall, things were not feeling good by this point. A bunch of stuff happened, and I don't like anything. And I felt horrible. And one particular day, I felt horrible. I was not feeling happy at all through that day. It might have actually happened like a few for like a few days. I do remember it was probably during this story. One of my friends noticed how I was one day when I walked into the theater room. Uh, and I remember this did happen a few times, and each time he notices and he voices that he sees, I'm like, very bad, doing very bad. I'm sad. I'm depressed. One of these things, and like usually he asks for like a hug just to like make me feel better. It's nice. Um, I feel like we don't. I feel like people don't hug that often anymore. I don't know why. Like hugging should be a normal thing to do, but it doesn't happen very often for some reason. So it's so hard to find a good time. Like you feel like this would be a good time. You really want one, but now it's you've waited just slightly too long. It'd be awkward to ask. It shouldn't be that way though. I swear, I've never kissed someone, but I feel like that would feel the same as if I asked for someone for a hug. That's how much it doesn't happen. Um, yeah. But yeah, one particular day I was feeling horrible, and we were doing theater games, and I hated that like all my friends already got on teams with a bunch of other people. I got no one. I was already feeling very bad, especially very bad about myself. I got like a bunch of imposter syndrome is a big thing with me. You guys saw that one video I had my anxiety personified. The big thing about him was that he's wearing a mask over him, hiding himself, and he just has fraud sharpied over his forehead, red, bright, all caps, and he's like putting a smile. Yeah, imposter syndrome. So it's a big thing. I really. So then I get, so like all the teams were already picked. Not a single person went to me, and on top of everything I was feeling that made me feel like wow, no one likes me, man. I'm just useless. I got put on the very last team, and we had just like slightly more people than we needed, because there was like an odd number of people or something like that. So we got an extra person. It was literally a team made entirely up of the people who couldn't find a team, and we lost pretty quickly. And I was already upset, so I just sat down, was like curled up, feeling horrible. And I remembered that one night. I already noticed that I was feeling horrible, and and like I would think about the meds a lot, and I was thinking like I don't know what these could do or maybe are doing. Who knows what's going on? But I could change it if I take another one. Because like I remember that the night that I took them and how it felt like laughing at. So I thought this should relieve something. I tried to sneakily because I was told I could take them again and I thought it was perfectly fine. Like I really started taking it again. Then just take another one during school. I found out the next week or like next few days, I don't know when, that you're not allowed to have any sort of pills in your bag. Because if they find those, they get confiscated and you get in trouble. Thank God I found that out. But yeah, they were just in my bag at the very top. The little, this zipper right here was literally bulging. You could really notice there was definitely something in there. I sneakily tried to put one in, making sure no one else saw what was going on. Thinking maybe I'll just feel better about it. And then my friend noticed that. My friend, like I was there for a while, and then like the game completely finished, I don't know how long I was waiting there for, but yeah. You can tell I'm trying to piece together the story that happened right now, because there's lots of things I'm like missing in the story. But yeah, I guess like I had to have been waiting there for a while if I was like one of the earliest teams to lose, and my friend was on like got like second place in their team did, and yet the whole game ended. My friend was right behind me as I was like curled up on the floor like this. Notices that is talking to me, confronts me about it pretty much, and then we have like a whole discussion about all this stuff that's happening and also the pills and how like I my friend was scared I would genuinely overdose on this stuff because I felt like I kept thinking about them all the time and wanting to take them again when something bad happened. So essentially I felt like I could become an addict and my friend genuinely thought I would overdose. I was scared for that too. That freaked me out constantly, especially when I took it. Things just immediately got worse because it seems like they also turned me like fucking. They do something to my head. They do horrible stuff. They make me dependent on them, thinking things will be better if I just pop another pill. Even though they make things worse and make me want to feel like I want to get another one. I swear, I was depressed for that whole fucking week. So I knew the moment I took the pill, like, oh, this is just gonna make things worse, isn't it? Every time I would like think of doing that afterwards, it was just like, let's not do that again. Every time, but I still like directly before having that thought, I'm just like, it'll make things better. If I just take another, it'll make something better. The reason I still have those and I haven't done something with them is because my friends highly urged I don't burn it. I just wanted to do something symbolic to get rid of them, but I decided not to do anything because next time I have to see a shrink, they might ask about that. So, can't do that. But, so after that, I stopped taking the pills entirely. Even like before bed, I wouldn't take them anymore, and I just kind of left them there. Didn't want to keep taking them. See, this stuff was so I felt like I was genuinely like I became an addict on like their meds. They are drugs. They're just legal, but they do bad stuff. See, in another timeline, my whole school has like a sad funeral parade and is memorializing me because I died of like an overdose at the school. That's happening in another timeline somewhere. Horrible stuff, horrible stuff. And the thing is, when I would think about the pills afterwards, I would genuinely get so angry at them. I felt like for so long, like, even like months after, like 2 or 3 months after, I would still think about taking them again when things got rough. That's how bad this stuff was. And like, whenever I would think about these things directly, like not thinking like I want to take one, just I look at them or the thought comes up again just about the pills in general, I genuinely felt like angry. I was like agitated thinking about them. No, the amount of times I've just smacked it off my desk because I hate them so much. I'd also talked about like other problems I had. Several times I felt like I came close to like wanting to, cut myself and do stuff like that. See, what I think it is that like a lot of people will be depressed and then they'll genuinely feel no emotion and that makes them feel like their life is not worth living, nothing's happening, nothing's worth anything. And so they cut themselves just so they can feel something because then it'll be pain and like anguish. Then they'll feel at least something and be brought back to reality and life. That wasn't me. I just felt like I needed it. I just felt like I needed to do it and it would make things better and that I deserved it. And maybe it would change something in me. That was like the whole thing and I kept thinking of doing it, but each time I just kind of chickened out and that made me feel even more worthless. However, at some point I was really upset because my father maybe take like another field day when I was like about to. One of that friend that was talking to me, that's like my best friend. My best friend's brother, he accidentally got like temporarily blind from like some sort of scarring in his eyes. So one day he finally was no longer blind again, and since I would bake things for my friends, mostly cookies, um, my friend told me to bake cookies for him that were like on the frosting roll, like they were like "you're not blind" cookies, yay, congrats, stuff like that. So I was gonna work on those today, on that day, and my father did not care about what I was planning for the day, and I was stuck having to do no more field work for like the whole day. So I was really upset about that. It was like after something important. I think it was after one of the band performances. I'm pretty sure it was after a band performance, like the day right after that. Yeah. So I was already in like a really good mood, and suddenly it just does that. And like already, I'd been on the edge the whole week. I finally got something good. Now this is happening. It just stops everything. I was and I was like sweating by the end of that because it was incredibly hot outside, and I was stuck out there all day. So I like tied my hair up when I finally got out of that. Go to the bathroom, tie my hair up to like get a towel and just like wipe my whole face off. The way I was going to tie my hair up though, I I learned how to like tie my hair up with like a stick or a pencil, things like that. I didn't put any thought, and I just grabbed like the first thing I thought of that was shaped like that. It's not there right now. The thing that's like usually sticking out on my desk. It's this thing. I got an X-Acto knife. I just tried to use this, and then suddenly, as I did that, this slipped off, and it made a very deep cut into one of my fingers. I still have the scar. I don't know if you can see that. It's really hard to see on the camera. It was really deep though. It was like um can you tell how deep that is on camera? I have no idea. But like it was like there. And it would not stop bleeding for like hours. It was really bad. But you know what I did after that? I put a few more very tiny, not as deep cuts on a bunch of other fingers. Not in the same place, but like around like tips, this spot, like sides, just to test myself and just see how it felt to keep doing it. No, this wasn't after a band performance, I don't think. No, no, no. This was because I remember it was like a bit when school started up again. Because like the performance that happened was on a Friday, then it happened after it was a Saturday, and this stuff happened, and then school starts up again. It's obviously on a Monday, and Monday was when my band would meet up again. And I remember on that day there was like a no that no that Monday was that no performances are on Friday. I don't know. I just remember there was something that had to do with like some sort of like I guess it was like a dress rehearsal we had on the Monday. I got back and I'm just like sitting in the corner because like I feel horrible about everything. And then my friend walks in. I'm just like I'm gonna talk to my friend. My friend is coming in like a fucking jester. I was like, God fucking damn it! I can't take this seriously. Like I'm genuinely like I got a serious cut on myself that made me want to cut myself more, and I felt like it in the I felt like horrible in the dumps because of that. And my friend walks in looking like this. It really does not help anything. I'm just like, I'm sorry, I cannot take you seriously like that. Just ignore it. Tell me, keep talk to me. My friend really wanted me to tell them about all this stuff, and I told all of them. He told me like, call him whenever I feel like killing myself again. I did end up calling him again when I came very close to doing it. I didn't end up doing it. I think it was like only a matter of weeks after that. It might have been within that same month. I'm not sure. And after some talking, he then sent me like I have them in like the hidden album on my phone now. Here's the first picture on the hidden album because one of my friends kept trying to look in there, so I decided let me put this in here since I never have anything in here. And now a bunch of pages from like this mental health thing about different things to do for the different sorts of bad things. All of that stuff. I got all of that down there now. I got some good stuff in here that I do use. Genuinely, like, I don't think it's in there. No, it's in the other. I have like a pouch full of markers. Originally, I had like a one of these types of markers that are meant specifically for like drawing on your skin. I took the red one and put it in my bag to keep at all times because it's a good thing to draw or write directly where you're gonna do that, and just think about that instead of doing anything. Like, write a friend's name or draw a butterfly and name it after them, and don't wash it off. You let it go away naturally. You know, stuff like that. It didn't fully work. I did end up cutting myself. And I don't really have the scar anymore. God. So, you can't really see it. If you look really closely, you can see one part of it. But you would not think that was like inflicted or anything. You wouldn't know what that was from. I drew 2 X's on my arm. So that was what I put on there, and that actually, what happened was when I did that, I was expecting it to end the same way as the pills. Like, I think I need to do this. I'm going to do it right now, and I expected it to make things worse. Like I was thinking I wanted it, even though it was just gonna make things worse. That's how I felt. But when I did it, it didn't feel worse at all. It felt like an actual release when I did it. I felt so good after doing that for some reason. Like, everything finally got lifted to the point where I didn't feel the need to do it again for a long time. Just like, I've done it. I'm fixed. Everything feels good now. It was weird. I don't know why it was like that. But every once in a while, I would get a bit of anxiety about the fact that I did that and I never told my friend. And so for a long time, what I would do when I was like anxious about something was I would just get like this and I would scratch directly where the cut was, to the point where this part was like incredibly red and like dead skin was coming off because of how much I did it. What hurts the most is the fact I was like sitting at like the farthest point in the theater room, and I was like hidden because like there's stairs going out to like the lighting booth, and there's like a railing in between because you gotta have that for stairs. So I was pretty much kind of hiding myself behind the railing. Not very well. You can see through it obviously, but like it made people not notice you were there. Is how it felt. And my friend saw that I was like sort of hiding there. It hurt so much when when they said like, is everything good? Yeah, I'm good. Are you sure? I'm fine. Something like that. And they finally walked away, and then immediately I'm just like, fuck, why did I do that? Could have told them right there. I still think about that because my friend is genuinely cares so much. So I always want to tell him about stuff when it happens, but sometimes I'm not able to right as it happens, and sometimes things just slip, and sometimes things I don't feel like telling right then. And that hurts. I remember one time I was in like a very small group chat with the it was called like, no, I don't think this group chat was named. It was with us two and another person we were both in a car crash with. You know, we were talking about this stuff. Found out this kid that we pretty much became friends with. Like we already knew him, kind of, but like not as much friends. Finally became like really good friends with him, and and we found out he was like she's trans actually. Who knew? And it was like a different preferred name. And when I heard that, I thought, well, now would be a good time to like say my preferred name. What? And my friend found out about that, and the next day was like, "Why didn't you tell me about this sooner? I would have started saying this so every other time." So with that, I now think like, fuck, I haven't told them about this one thing. Now if I tell them now, they're just gonna be like, "Why didn't you say this sooner?" And that gets in my mind so much. Literally this morning, I came out to my friends. Not like they know I'm pan. That's the. They didn't know about like that I was like a gender queer though. I didn't feel like I ever made that clear. So to my one friend in this group chat who I was like talking about this to for a while, I was like, yo, I really want to tell them. Here, where do they do it? Can we both say it, please? Literally, just like, can we both do it now? Can you start? So we did that. We did it together, so that it was like a bit better. You see how long it took me to talk about this stuff? God, I don't know when I could possibly tell him, tell my friend about like when that stuff happened. This video is too long. I'm not gonna talk about the other topic. I was gonna talk about this and my parents, but I think I'll leave the parents for another video. This definitely seems like something people would be talking to me about. Except, I guess I am over it. I haven't thought about, my meds or cutting myself in, like, a long time. So, because, like, of course, I did say it was, like, a release when I cut myself, and I didn't feel like I needed to anymore. But every once in a while, when things would get bad, I would think about it again. But most of the time, I would think, that doesn't really change anything, does it? And then I wouldn't do it. And then I just kind of stopped thinking about it entirely. So I guess, like, you don't really get much, there's not much you have to tell me anymore. I'm pretty much done. Oh, and what was worse, when I first started feeling like those horrible weeks, was at the time when another one of my friends turned depressed. And my best friend kept consoling them, because, I'm fairly certain I am not my best friend's best friend, and this other friend was their best friend. They both were to each other, is what I'm pretty sure it was. So I didn't feel like telling my best friend about any of this stuff when he's like consoling another person who he's closer with. Which kind of added to my imposter syndrome. Like, I'm not crying in a corner like they are, because they genuinely would. I'm not crying about any of this stuff, so it's not as bad. I don't need to tell anyone. But yeah, if I was in a room with a therapist, like they made me take therapy, I would stay silent the entire time. I'm not even kidding. I would. I don't want to have to recap all this stuff to a therapist when, like, what are they gonna think? What are they gonna tell me? They don't know this stuff. I have people who I've told about this so much more, who have understood me much better, and I really don't want to recap with someone who works in like the same sort of stuff as all my other shrinks in the past who've told me like useless things and helped me so poorly. I don't want a therapist. twice. I also say like I hate my shrink. I don't even have a shrink. I just have shrinks. I have multiple but I don't have them because they're not just to me. They were just random psychiatrists who I had to see. I'm not assigned a shrink. So like they don't know. They don't take the time to like really listen to me, and then they leave and get another person who's the exact same way. Why would I trust that person for me to really tell them anything if they're like they have no reason to listen? They're gone the moment that session finishes, like forever. Anyways, I guess that's all. This isn't a full hour, so that's good. I don't think I ever do make things like a full hour. I think I do try to go under that, but like, what does that help? This is 46 minutes. Who's watching this whole thing?